In this video, we're going to do a couple examples of using an if function. And in our scenario, what we're doing is selling some products. Here are the quantities sold, the price we're selling them at. But we have a rule that if we sell less than 1,000 units, then the customer pays the normal price, which is quantities sold times the price. If we sell 1,000 units or more, then we're going to give them a 10% discount on that price. So right here in that cell where we calculate the order total, I'm going to type equal if. And as I do, you can see it come up in a tooltip, and it says checks whether a condition is met, and then it's going to return one value if it's true and another if it's false. I type parenthesis, and then I can see those three things that we're looking for inside the if statement, the three arguments. So, well, what's my test? In this case, I got to determine whether or not that quantity sold is greater than or equal to 1,000. When I'm done with my test, and that thing's going to return a true or false answer, I'm going to type comma. What am I going to do if it is true that it's greater than 1,000? Well, then I'm going to take that quantity sold times the price that's been reduced by 10%. So right here, I'm going to take quantity sold times, and what I want to do here is take the price and reduce it by 10%. So I can do that by taking that price minus the quantity of that price times 10%. And now I have to do two brackets there. So basically, I'm taking that price, 25 times 10%, which is going to give me 250. I'm going to take 25 minus 250, and now I'm taking that quantity times that new number. Now, comma. What am I going to do if it's false? Remember, the question was, is this cell greater than 1,000? Well, if it's not greater than 1,000, then we're simply taking the quantity sold times the price. Now, I made one mistake in that D4 greater than 1,000. I don't want to type that 1,000 right there. Let's refer to the cell that has the number in it. So I want to refer to this cell, E15. And the reason is because as soon as I finish this sheet, our boss may tell us, well, no, now the limit's 1,500 or it's 800. And rather than fix all of these formulas, I just have to change the value in one cell. Same thing about the discount. Maybe it goes to 12% or 8% or some other number. Well, I only want to have to fix one cell. Also, I'm going to be copying this formula down, so I need to absolute the cell references for E15 and F15. So right now I'm going to hit F4 on the E15, and I'll hit F4 on the F15. And what that does is put my dollar signs to lock in those cell references. I hit Enter. I've got a custom formatting. I'll just go with the currency on that, and now we'll drag that down, and that will give us our values for all of our products. Now let's do one more example. In this one, we have employees who are working so many hours per week, and this is their hourly rate, but they get time and a half, as we call it, for hours worked above 40, and I want to calculate their gross pay. So right here again, I type equal if. Parenthesis, what's my test? Well, I need to determine if they worked over 40 or not. So my logical test is, did they work, is that cell greater than 40? So in this time, I'm going to have to type 40, and we're going to just assume that's a constant, that it'll always be 40. Above 40, they'll get time and a half. If you think that could be a variable that might change, the best would be wise to put it in as a cell reference, type 40 someplace, and then refer to that cell. But anyway, that's my test. Did they work above 40? Comma. What am I going to do if that's true? If it's true, they get time and a half for the hours worked above 40. So what I need to do is take their number of hours they've worked right here. So I will put a parenthesis and take that minus 40. So for instance, if this person had worked 45, this would be 45 minus 40. So that gives me 5 hours of overtime. I want to take that amount and multiply it times their hourly rate times 1.5. So far, that's just calculating the 5 hours above 40. 5 hours times hourly rate times 1.5. I still need to add in their original 40 times their original rate. So a little bit of math taking place there, but basically this is their overtime pay through here plus their base pay through there, and we're only going to do it if somebody's greater than 40. So for instance, L. Smith is not, so this isn't going to happen. But if L. Smith had worked 45, well, then we'd be taking 45 minus 40, that's 5 hours, times that rate times 1.5 plus 40 times that rate. Now I'm done with the value of true. There it is. I can now type a comma. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I'll click there, type a comma, and now I need, what am I going to do if they didn't work more than 40? So at that point, comma, I just want to take their hours times their rate. So now I can close up my if statement. So are they greater than 40? If so, then here's what we're going to do. If they're not greater than 40, then we're just going to take hours times rate. So I hit enter, and I can now drag that down. Another example using an if statement with a little bit of math involved. Of course, you can do this inside the function dialog box by hitting that FX, and then it opens up in here. I just tend to type them because I know I can separate each of these with a comma as I'm doing my typing.